We have some high expectations for guys that come into our programs, like to just do some footwork drills.
Like ladders.
Like ladders or line drills or something. And you know what happens? People become intrigued and interested. Like, I haven't tried this since high school, you know? And they become interested in just the challenge of it. And as we become almost distracted by the challenge, we're now like finding ourselves conditioning, you know? And I always think that's an important part, that sometimes you got to draw people in to show them what they might be interested in. And from the output or the effect of it, I just think that when you're able to blend some, still maintain some of that strength training into the exercise. So as you mentioned, let's say I'm doing some kind of a push-up or a burpee. I mean, there is an anaerobic component to that is going to be helpful. That then rather than just walking or just jogging. Not to say that isn't an effective means for strict cardiac conditioning. It's one of the ways that we've had for centuries to do it. But I just think that if we can blend it, then it becomes maybe a little bit more interesting, and you get some of those crossover benefits, and it doesn't become so segmented in terms of what we're trying to do.
I love the idea of bringing some mental challenge and some desire to improve a skill while conditioning. That's not something that I've thought of before, and it's simply because I've overlooked it, but it makes sense because my sister, who's reasonably fit, although I'm always trying to get her to do a bit more, she always asks me, what should I take? And I'm a believer in supplements for certain people in certain instances, but I keep telling her, it's behaviors are going to, and nutrition are going to have the greatest outsized positive effect. And she loves things like dance classes and things that, or kickboxing, these kinds of things, so it makes sense that if you can hook somebody on the conditioning aspect or the skill aspect and kind of trick them into doing more cardio, so to speak, that's terrific. Also, the neuroscientist in me just has to say, forgive me, that anytime you're engaging the two sets of motor neurons, the ones in your brain, the upper motor neurons, and the ones in your spinal cord, anytime you're engaging those upper motor neurons, which are for deliberate, well-controlled action, you're doing a great thing for your brain in terms of brain longevity. So I need to incorporate some actual skills into my training. Going back to weight training a bit, one of the most important things I learned from you, over the years, was that when training to increase muscle size, to really think not so much about moving weights, but more about challenging muscles.
Yeah.